welcome to my channel. Well, as you can see, I got some more flashlights in, and this is what you get with the Anduril type of programming. You can set up your little side lights to do this kind of like beacon thing. It has basically 4 modes on this side light. One is this beacon, the other one is basically the power button on in a low mode, and then the other one is the power button in a high mode, and then the last mode is this is off. So this is the SC31T Pro. Now they make an SC31 without the tail cap switch, and they make it without the Pro. It doesn't have all the, funky features. Now, if you look at an Anduril programming chart, man, it's worse than a schematic diagram trying to figure it out. It's a combination of pictures and instructions and stuff. It's kind of different to learn. So the first Anduril one that I got and tried to mess with is this one. And this is a funny thing about learning something new. If you're learning something new and the light is defective, you're going to think yourself is defective. This one doesn't have the strobe mode, even though it's supposed to. None of the strobes are in there. It'll do the voltage check. It also won't change the status of these lights. You're supposed to do from off 7 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In this case, I've got it in lockout mode to get it to do that little pulsing thing. So I have to do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Light comes on. It goes off, and then it's just in the green standby mode right on this light. Now I should be able to do 7 clicks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and change that, and it doesn't. It just stays on. And I thought, what am I doing wrong? And I looked at a bunch of different videos, and everybody does it the same way. And to get the strobe, you're supposed to do 1, 2, and then hold and get strobe. And it doesn't do it. 1, 2, and hold, doesn't do it. So what I do is I usually put it in lockout mode. See, this was just doing a voltage check then. 3 clicks from off. It's a lot of, you look at it and you go, man, I just want a simple light that just turns on and off. If you want that, you can get that in different versions of different lights. For example, like this one. This one's got all these features, but you can just set it up to where this is like an on-off switch, all right? So right now it's in kind of like a standby mode. The switch is on and the light's in standby, so I can turn it on, from just hitting this button here. You hit the switch here, and the standby lights are still on until you click that. But you can click this all you want and the light won't come on. That's for people that worry about lights coming on in their pocket. And then it comes on from back here. You turn it off from there, and it'll go back into standby mode. Now this one works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's doing the strobe mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm supposed to be able to change it. Yeah. I had it working earlier. All right, and to do strobe on this one, watch out for strobe running. 1, 2, and then hold. Let's see. Off. There we go. It's 3 clicks, but on the third one you hold down. And then to switch between the modes, you do a double click. And this one, this is supposed to simulate like a candle. You see how it's kind of flickering? And this is a bike strobe. It's got that little flicker in between. You can set the intensity levels on it by holding Then there's a regular kind of strobe. Another bright strobe. This is lightning. This was supposed to simulate a lightning storm. It looks better with the diffuser on it. You just have it sitting there and it simulates like lightning flashing. Now, that's all these little modes do. You basically set it up in whatever strobe thing you want. And double click is turbo. So a lot of this times it's just like putting it in lockout. If you don't do it fast enough, you're going to turn the light on. But anyway, it's just something. And you look at those and you think, well, that's kind of goofy. Actually, this comes in pretty handy in the dark. If you want to find your light, but you don't want it, you know, like so distracting, it's in like moonlight even mode. These little side lights just flickering like that, and these guys eventually sync up. If you sit there and watch them, they'll pulse and they'll go back and forth, and eventually they'll sync up. The colors don't change on this particular one. They're just green lights, but with like the FC13, which is an 18650 light. It has a round circle like that has all the colors of the rainbow in it. You can set it to where it just oscillates between it. You can do a lot of things. The thing about anduril programming is it's not for everyone. And flashlight people are opinionated just like knife people are. And I was talking to Florida Boy, EDC, you know, about flashlights. He was the same way. He started off with Olight, but he's starting to branch off into other ones. And I just mentioned, you know, I said the only thing I don't like about Olight is the proprietary batteries. And even though I like the magnetic charging system, if you are going somewhere and you forget your charging cord or your battery runs out, with an Olight, unless you've got a backup of both of those, you're screwed. With any other kind of light, with the Type-C charging, or if it can drop in a CR123 type of battery in it, you're good to go. So I mean that it's not a fact. And one guy was telling me, yo, with the Baton 3 you can just drop a CR123 in it. No, you can't. On some of them you can't, but not on the little Baton 3. They changed the orientation. Olight had their proprietary batteries with a positive and negative here, and they used to have it where the positive was aiming down. And with one of those, yes, you can drop in another non-proprietary light, Olight in there, you know, battery in there, and it just wouldn't charge, but you'd still be going. One guy was saying like, nah, you're just bitching about that. It's a valid complaint. If you don't think it's a valid complaint for you, then that's fine. That's you, you know. The same guy also left a comment saying, you don't need anduril. You don't need anduril 2. You know, well, you don't need a lot of things. You know, it's called choice. It's called options. I like having the option. If you don't like having the option, that's fine. That's your life. It's like I said, it's just like with knives, you know. Somebody, oh, I don't like this knife. I don't like that brand. Fine, don't buy it. You know, for other people that like them, they're interested. Also, if somebody's talking to another person, I know it's like a public forum and everything, but if I'm having a conversation with another person, that's kind of like you butting in, you know, and saying, oh, those things suck. Who asked you? You know. It's like a little squeeze doll. You squeeze them, they make a little noise, you know. If I want you to make a little noise, I'll squeeze your neck, you know. But I try not to get bent out of shape, but there's just a lot of rude people there that think that their opinions are the most valuable, and if you don't follow their opinion, then you must be stupid or something. Hey, everybody's got their own things that they like, and their own opinions about things. If you don't like a tail switch light, don't get a tail switch light, but don't go into one that's on tail switch and start complaining about tail switches. You can still do that. I'm not saying you can't, you can say whatever you want. It's just that seems like to me that a better communication would be telling someone why you don't like tail switches. I can tell you why I find tail switches awkward. Is because look at this. It's a reverse grip. It's a non-natural grip. It's fine if you're in a tactical mode and you've got something else in your hand. But for most people, this is the most ergonomic way to carry a flashlight. And my only complaint had been previously about tail switch type lights is this was the only way to turn it on. This over here did nothing unless you had the light turned on. For example, like the Wukos. You push this guy all you want. It's only going to come on with this. You can put this. All this does is just change the modes. So with this light, you have the best of both worlds. If you don't like doing the side type thing, turn the light on, turn it off right here. Have the light set in whatever mode you like. You can still do a momentary, and then you can turn it on. I don't know about the turbo, how super easy it is to access, but I like it, have it in like standby mode like this. This doesn't suck down battery power as much as you might think. These are LEDs. They don't draw current. It's not like leaving your headlights on in a car in the old day. If you left your headlights on and you went to watch a movie, when you came back, your battery was dead. They ran all night with this thing blinking like this. And I put them on into charge, and I had been messing around with the light before, but it didn't take very long to charge them. I also have another battery charger coming in today, a 4-bay battery charger that I'm going to test out. And the main thing about it is on the 4th bay, it has a discharge function, which enables you to check the capacity of a rated battery. So if you've got some ones that you think are doing a wild claim, these are usually good batteries and they come into their rated charge, but you'll see some of these 18650s where they're trying to claim 3600 milliamps or 4000, and it's just imprinting something on there. What's really important is what's on the inside, and the only way you find that out is by testing it, by discharging it down to its lowest safe voltage and then charging it back up. Now you can do that manually with this thing. You could just run it till it dies. I think it's on this particular light, it says if you turn it on to turbo, this thing will run for 5 hours and something. I mean, it'll step itself down through the different, temperature levels to regulate itself, but it'll run flat out 5 hours on that. When that battery ran down, then I've got voltage testers that tell me how much current and capacity has gone through a USB charging port, while it's charging. But anyways, I just wanted to get a little bit better battery charger because the 2-bay one that I had is starting to flicker. It's called a Tenergy. They make batteries also, but this one, it was working fine for about 2 or 3 weeks. And then the display is supposed to alternate between voltage, current, and charge time. And it would get stuck on current. And then also you'd pull a battery out and it would still be displaying on there. So yeah, it's freaking out, basically. So this next one is a little bit more expensive because it's 4 bays and it's got that discharge function. But now this is the, I haven't reviewed this, but this is a Sofirn SP10 Pro, and you can't charge it from inside the battery. They do supply you with a little battery charger. It's a 14500 900 milliamps. So it's basically like this one will take a AAA or a NiCad or any of those. It'll operate on all of those voltages. It doesn't have a little side light beam on here, but for a little, I got it in step mode right now, but It's a pretty bright little thing, and it's got all these funky... That's bright, and it gets hot. 1, 2, 3. That was voltage check. There. This is supposed to be like a candlelight. And you double click when you're in those modes to get to the other things. And that's a, look at that pulse. It's a brighter one. And then storm, lightning storm. So you don't look at these. If you look at it, you go, is this thing working? As soon as you do that, man, it'll do a lightning strike on you. But it's pretty random. So if you have a diffuser on it, it kind of like mood lighting, you know, same way with the candlelight mode one. You know, it's kind of a flickering. Some people would think that's annoying, but if you put a diffuser on it, it's not bad. So for this one, I'm not going to return it. I'm going to keep it because I don't use the strobe mode and the party mode and all that other stuff. I do like this size of light. It has a magnetic tail cap on it that's pretty strong. I'll probably get another one in a different color, like red or blue, and maybe even black, just to carry around, because I was wanting to basically replace my Olight Baton 3 with something that I don't think this one will take a CR123. It might, but I just wanted another flashlight about the Baton 3 size that didn't require special batteries or special. I do like the magnetic charging port thing. I think that's pretty convenient. Now the way I get around it is once you get enough Olights, I'll put it in lockout so it'll strobe. Once you get enough Olights that have a magnetic charging base, you're going to wind up with extra little cords. So I leave one of those in the Jeep, one in a bug out bag, and in every area in the home there's usually one lying around if I need to plug it in and plug a Olight into it. Because that's one way around there. You have a backup. Same thing with the battery. You can just get a spare battery. They're now currently in stock. I'm just waiting for that sale that they've got going on to go into effect, because I'm going to get another i3T. I like these i3Ts that Olight produces. They're very, very handy size, very useful output, even without boosting them up, which I've done, because that gives that low light a much better low light, and then the high is just crazy high for a light this size. You know, it's a AAA. It's even smaller than any of these here, and it'll put out incredible amount of light. Of course, Olight doesn't recognize you do or recommend you do that. Specifically says don't do that, but I'm not all that good at following orders. Now that I got out of the military, give me no order. I'll do what I want. Anyway, there you go. So yeah, this you might think is kind of gimmicky. This is kind of cool. These little lights they're easy to find at night. They don't draw a lot of energy, and it's something visually going on. You know, at least it's just not the same stuff. Just flashlight just sitting there. And if you don't like those, you can turn those off. So there you go. There's just a little foray into the flashlight world for me. Like I said, oh, now this guy right here, let me turn the light off and I'll show you the difference. This one is in 5000K, and this one is in 6000. All right, I thought there would be a big difference. Let me turn them down over here to low. Off camera. There's actually not that Shining in Peppy's eyes. I'm blind! I'm blind! There's not that big of a difference between the two in color pattern. And it's the same light. It really doesn't show that well down here. You can see this one's a little bit warmer. This one's a little bit wider. Yeah, for these lights, either one is going to do you well. And of course, this one has the ability to charge a phone or something like that. And then of course, the IF22A Sofirn I got sitting over on the table, but it's a great little spotlight. So, now, the only other thing I can say about this one is, this guy right here, I really like this color tint, this 4000K. I didn't think I would. I thought 5000K, because it's more closer to the sun, would be better, but that compared to, and of course this is, you know, a spotlight guy. Turn yourself down. You're blinding people. And this guy is more of a flood, but you can see the difference, how warm that is. That's more pleasing to the eyes inside. This, of course, you're trying to spotlight something, you know, maybe at a distance, so you're really not as concerned about the tint, I would think. You know, you want a cool white light will reach out. Things seem brighter with it, but the colors are not the same. So anyway, there you go. I've rambled on too long. So thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Oh yeah, one more thing. You can take this little guy. This is a 18340, I think, in here. 18350. And you can slap him on here. Of course, we got the Legos going on. Now, if you take the magnetic tail cap off of this guy and put him on this guy's head, the tail cap basically becomes a mechanical switch. You want to get them all the way in there, and you always want to make sure your orientation is correct when you swap these around like I just did, or it won't work. But now you got a really compact little guy that still works the same way, but it's in a, this is a 16, oh man, 16350? I don't know. A 16 millimeter size. This is a AA size, and this is an 18 millimeter size. So, yeah, you're not going to get as long of a runtime as on this, but you're going to get all the same features, function, performance in a smaller package. It fits right in your hand. Yeah. So, I bored you long enough. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.